Welcome to the Leading Sheep webinar series on nutritional management of spring lambing merinos to ram more lambs, featuring Dr John Milton from Independent Lab Services in Western Australia.
Again, we're reinforcing this condition score 3 during pregnancy. We need that condition score 3 during pregnancy to achieve good placental growth. The placenta is the conduit of the nutrients. It sets up all the pipes that are going to carry nutrients to those fetus, to the fetus or the fetuses. And so we need to set up a good placenta. And the placenta does most of its growth in the first 90 days of pregnancy. And so that's one of the reasons, once we know who's got what on board, we need to ensure, or who's pregnant, we need to ensure we get good placental growth, because that will have an outcome on lamb birth weights. And we know lamb birth weights are related to survival. So all these things are linked. We know from a lot of work over the years that you've got more lambs to rear if the ewes are held at condition score 2.5 to 3 versus 2. I know the standard's 3, but we know that a lot of those singles, probably if things are tough, are going to be left to manage at score 2.5, but keep 3 certainly in mind for those twinners and try and achieve it. Work has shown that we may rear up to 20% more twins if the ewes lamb in condition score 3 or higher versus a lower condition score. Basically, a rise in one condition score can give you up to 20% more twins being reared. So that's all good reasons to learn how to condition score and then try your utmost to manage the animals, or manage your feed resources to ensure that they are kept around that score 3. You'll get the higher clean fleece weights from the lambs that are reared from the ewes that are kept around that high condition score 3. If it might be a little bit broader in micron, but you've got the live lamb, which possibly the consequence of that, he's going to cut more wool in his life, and it's permanent. You don't lose it. It's permanent. And even though the micron might be a little bit broader. Here we must regularly condition score our sheep to assess them. We need to assess them if the feed is meeting the need. It is a tool that tells us how the body energy status of the sheep is responding to the feed that it's consuming, whether it's out of the paddock, out of a supplement, or whatever. But it's telling us the energy status is either responding up or down. So is the feed meeting the need? And it will also allow us to assess whether we need to lift or lower the feed supply. Often we need to lift the feed supply or the quality of the feed, basically move them to a better paddock, move them to a paddock that's been spelled, or in the case of ewes getting a bit too over-conditioned because you haven't got enough sheep and season's running well, then you might need to tighten the paddock up so they don't blow out in condition. Condition scoring, you've got to get your hands on them because the fingers can feel what the wool masks. You can often see what sort of condition ewes are in as they're walking off the shearing board, but that's not all year round, so you've got to get your fingers on their back, your hands on the back, and the tool, very cheap, one of the cheapest management tools you got attached to the end of your arm.